All right, as they make their way to the parade yard, we're going to take a look. It's another greyhound by the name of Mackinaw Peach, who's well and truly in the market here at $3.50. We're going to take a look at a performance of hers, Nath, back on the 1st of May, where she jumped from box 7.
Yeah, I think what I really like to see here and what she did, she ran 5:02, Mackinaw Peach. Now 5:02 leads this race. What she wasn't able to do was get past the likes of Jules Juliet, and here comes Jojo. So that's going to be the thing in her favour tonight. She's got a vacant box on her inside. Aston Walker on her outside's most probably a 5:15 dog, so she gets a little bit of grace with not a quick beginner next to her. She's just got to cross Peaky Joe early. She's had a few runs here of recent times where she's been racing against decent opposition. Gambella, here comes Joe Inconspicuous, Dr. Asha, Mapunga Smoky. So she's another one that's going to relish coming back to 5th grade. And I think what wins the battle of this race is what can get to the front first. So I've settled with Mackinaw Peach. I thought she represented the value, and if she can run that 5:02, I don't think Peaky Joe's got that in his artillery at the moment. And we've seen the first couple of leaders, run really well on the arm, and I think Mackinaw Peach might be the leader here, and that might be the advantage that this greyhound has to get back in the winners list.
There she is on screen, looking ready to rock. We've spoken about the top 2 in the market. Is there any others that we haven't spoken about, led by Paul Vernon, that you consider a legitimate danger?
Yeah, he's a greyhound going well. He posted 29 and 50 odd here when placed a few weeks ago. He'll be better suited closer to the fence, so he's going to relish when he draws close to the rail. He'll need to get the start right off box 7 tonight. All
right, Corey Smith is with Nicholas Britton. I saw a photo of him last week, Smithy, where everyone in there was smiling. He was the only one who wasn't, and it's quite predictable. I've seen it many a times before. Can you get a grin out of him tonight?
I don't think I'm going to be able to get a grin out of Nick Britton. Patch has just given you a little bit of a clip saying you don't smile in photos, Nick.
Oh, I've had braces for a few years, so I sort of stopped my smiling with my teeth.
Oh, well, you're a good-looking rooster, so hopefully we get a smile out of you later if you handle something in the Sandown Cup.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Maybe I'll get a smile out, but, yeah, it should be a good night.
What about this girl? She's been going around for a while, hasn't been in the winner's circle for a little while now, Nick, but she's been racing in good fashion.
Yeah, obviously her form's not great, but I really liked her run last week at the Meadows in a really wet track, and it's a 6-dog field, so hopefully she gets some room early and maybe get to the front.
All right, well, good luck to you, Nick, and good luck later on as well. I might just try and grab a quick word with Glenn Rounds with Peaky Joe. Glenn, just a quick question, mate. Peaky Joe, been mixing distances a little bit. Happy to get him back up to the 500?
Yeah, he's had a few run of a couple of issues that we just got a few setbacks with, so just to get him back on the winners list will be good.
Bit of a confidence booster tonight, hopefully?
He's got to win it first. Yeah, for him and for us.
Well, good luck, Glenn. I'll let you get over to the boxes. There is Glenn Rounds and Nick Britton before race number 3 at Sandown Park.
Thanks, Smithy. Sky One not too far away from joining us. Do you take anything from what we just heard from Glenn Rounds? I mean, it would be relieving given the run that he's had through this part of his career, Peaky Joe.
Yeah, well, he's back to 5th grade now. He's most probably found the right night for a 5th grader. There's a lot of 5th grade races here that are only small fields. He's drawn close to the fence. Glenn's obviously confident that he's got him going as well as he can at the moment. So he can certainly run a race. I just think the market's got him short enough for mine. So my numbers here, Jason, race 3, I've gone 4, 2, 8 and 7. I thought Mackinaw Peach might be able to roll to the top here. She ran 5:02 at the track and distance 3 starts ago. If it can run 5:02 again here tonight, that might be able to put her on the arm, and I think she's ready to show her best. Small field suits, rolls to the top, hard to catch. I think she's the one that's overs in the market. The main danger is obviously Peaky Joe in box number 2. He's well drawn. He's an honest campaigner that's raced at free-for-all and mixed grade company around Sandown throughout the last 12 to 18 months. If he can get ahead of Mackinaw Peach, he's going to be a hard dog to get past. I put number 8, White Crest, in for 3rd. A greyhound who most probably wants the rail, but I just think there's a bit of speed in this race. He might be able to pop in with the small field mid-pack and get to the fence. When he gets to the fence, he really shows his best. He's a greyhound that's racing in pretty good form, was a 30 and 16 Meadows winner, only 2 runs back. Then for 4th, number 7, Paul Vernon. He's a greyhound who's got plenty of ability. He'll want to get to the fence. I'm not sure he's got enough speed to get across off the wide draw, but he can certainly figure in the finish if things go his way. 4, 2, 8 and 7, my numbers. Sandown Park, race number 3.
He's nailed the first 2 races, Nathan Rooney. Let's make it a hat-trick. Race 3, Sandown Cup 9. Here's Dan Hibbard.
5 minor placings. Moving in. So they're about to get set for the third, the Dandenong West FC Grade 5. Thanks, Patch, moving in. Even money, Peaky Joe, just drifting out a little bit late. Money for Mackinaw Peach. They're going to go the favourite pair here for the third. They're ready, set, racing. Peaky Joe was only fair to go. Mackinaw Peach won the start and finds the lead over Paul Vernon, who gets to second. Magic Dark Star. Peaky Joe's got held up in traffic, is trying to get through it. Oh, going a miss there, Paul Vernon. And this has left Mackinaw Peach a mile in front. White Crest is closing in, and now Peaky Joe gets into its work. They're clear on Magic Dark Star and Aston Walker, but it's Mackinaw Peach in front. White Crest is trying ever so hard, but Mackinaw Peach. Mackinaw Peach, she won by 3. White Crest, Peaky Joe, Magic Dark Star, Aston Walker and Paul Vernon, who was on the speed, has finished the race last in 29 and 47.
Line of length, top of off for Nathan Rooney. Mackinaw Pete straight to the front and wins. For Paul Vernon, we'll get an update on him, but it seemed to be a muscle injury of some sort, but we'll wait for more information there. But Nath, pretty painless watch from the supporters of you and your point of view. She was very good, straight to the top and hard to beat after that.
Yeah, it's had early speed and she hasn't been able to get across of recent times, even though she's been running 5.0s. Jay, she's drawn boxes 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 8, 8, 7 her last 8 starts. So even though it says box 4 on paper, when you've got a slow beginner in 5 and a vacant box in 3, she was able to carve across real early. And Nick Britton was pretty confident pre-race, and he doesn't usually air much confidence, so was happy to see him give her a good push, and he was happy with the run on Saturday night, so was I, and she certainly didn't let Connections down.
100%. You're still not smiling. Corey Smith with Nick Britton.
Yes, the smiling assassin, Nick Britton. You were happy with the run last week at the Meadows, even happier tonight at Sandown, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, 5.01 to the first mark always looks good, and the room on her inside definitely helped her a bit, and that's just how I want it to go, really.
5.01 early, that's back to her absolute best. Do you think that confidence-boosting win tonight will be able to bring her back into those sort of races that we saw earlier in her career?
Yeah, well, I hope so. I mean, she does go up against a lot of good competition, and it can bring her form down a bit, but when you can run first sections like that, you can always cause an upset.
Absolutely, and George Ferrugia, part of the ownership group, big part of the ownership group, didn't really give her much of a push on the grey areas today when I was listening. Does he need to start getting some tips from you in how to judge a race?
I reckon I'll be just as bad as him, but I think he should start putting more faith in his own dogs, really.
Oh, we like that. A little clip from Nick Britton to George Ferrugia. I'll tell you what, boys, grey areas, I'm a big fan of the show, and I reckon we need to get Nick Britton as one of the hosts one day.
Oh, if he can dish out a smile, we'll get him in front of the cameras in the studio, no doubt about that. And speaking of grey areas, geez, Georgie's got to get on the bandwagon and give us some confidence. His girl, Mackinaw Peaches, won here, Nathan. You mentioned her lead up to this race, how it was tough draws and she was still showing speed. Now she's won tonight. Just from a form point of view, do you often see an overreaction from a market point of view when she goes to her next start?
Depends what she's up against, Jay. She come back to 5th grade, which was an advantage for her. She was in grade 4 on Saturday night at the Meadows, and just the box draw. Like, she's running 5.0s, but it's hard to get across the high quality dogs when you're drawing middle to wide around the metropolitan tracks. You know, you need the right dogs around you. She's one that, she needs to lead to win, basically. And tonight she had that opportunity, as we touched on there. There wasn't a great deal of speed early. She just had to come out on her best box manners, and she was 5.01. She was able to lead him clearly off to the mat. And Paul Vernon was getting around into a nice position. And as you touched on, he's just twinged a muscle going through the first corner.
It did look like that, didn't it?
Yeah, he did, because he finished off quite strong, and he was short in his action, but it was nothing too major with Paul Vernon there. But he was the one that most probably was going to, make a good fist of the race. I thought, going through the corner the first time with Mackinaw Peach, because he's a greyhound that's got plenty of upside. He's run 29.5 around Sandown before, and he was in a striking position to get on the coattails of Mackinaw Peach. So the race might have been slightly different, but yeah, it's that luck in running, and if you can run 5:01 and draw close to the fence in the right sort of races, you're going to lead, dictate from the front. 29.4, they're good bread and butter dogs, aren't they? And Mackinaw Peach brought up another winner for Jeff Britton, and he'll be looking for a little bit more success in group company a little bit later this evening.
And for the favourite in the race, in Peaky Joe, it does look like he didn't get the start right to be any sort of winning contention early.
He's just not at his best at the moment, and that might be an age thing as well. You know, he has had, 50 or 60 starts now, so he's the back end of his racing career, so to speak, and just once again 5:10, 5:15 early and only running 29.6, without any interference. It's hard to win. It's hard to win at metropolitan level if you're not at your best. So he'll need to get some recent racing and more consistent racing into him, and hopefully he can get a bit of spring in his step, because he needs to run 5.0s. That was most probably his best chance tonight, drawn closer to the fence, but he wasn't able to hold Mackinaw Peach when she can run 5.01 to the first mark, and then from there, like I said, his PB is only 29.40 at the track and distance, so he would need to run a PB here tonight to be able to, figure in the finish, and he just wasn't able to do so. So full credit to Mackinaw Peach. She was a very impressive winner, and early speed wins races, and we've seen that a couple of times already tonight.
100%. And Corey Smith, he's not going to pat himself on the back. He's the bald eagle, Nathan Rooney, but he's 3 from 3, so he's taken the hat trick.
When's he start getting nervous?
Most probably race 12. If no, we just, they haven't been too hard to find. They've been pretty solid in the market, and like I said, the maps are going to plan, as we touched on earlier in the night. All 3 leaders are basically set up the right map and the right race. So Mackinaw Peach looked the clear leader there, running 5.0s, and was able to do so from the front. So hopefully they're this easy for the next 9 races to come, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Oh, it'd be wonderful. I might get a job again next time.
You won't need a job next time if you're going to keep tipping them like this, Nate. But no, that was a good run, and it's good to see Mackinaw Peach get back in that sort of form. She was a greyhound that probably flew under the radar for a long period of time, made some really handy group finals, and was always up against tough fields, and was probably a little bit of a forgotten dog coming into the last few races. But it's good to see her strutting her stuff and showing her best.
All right, before we move on to race 4, I was just about to throw to a shot here of Tim Godfrey, the track curator here at Sandown Park. Was speaking before how the deck looks absolutely sublime. Here we go. We're going to get him on camera strutting his stuff in front of the boxes. And Smithy, you of all people, having worked at Clubland alongside myself over a number of years, we know how much work goes into the deck and everything that surrounds a venue at a greyhound track. They don't get enough credit like they deserve. Yeah,
peanuts like you and I sit in our office chairs and just admire the track on the big nights, but there's a hell of a lot of work that goes into it, and you can see that it getting smoothed out after each and every race. It doesn't matter whether it's the Sandown Cup or a Tier 3 race. They're always well looked after, and you want the track in the best possible condition for every possible trial or race, and we've certainly got some of the best track curators in the business here in Victoria.
And look at Hugo there. He's handling the front of the boxes as well as what he handled his driving test yesterday. He passed his P's, he's got his licence. Good on him. He's in business.
Is he going to take us through the Macca's drive-through later?
He doesn't have a car, I don't think.
Oh, you can drive
That doesn't
mine.
help. You can drive mine. We'll get on the cans and we'll work the rest out. Yeah. All right, let's get on with it. Race 4, it's not too far away, about 7 minutes. And this is where the night starts